general offensive philosophy. Okay, so our offense has been very successful here. I'm just blessed and fortunate that Coach Sweeney is allowing me to take over the reins and be the offensive coordinator. And here's some things that we believe in here at Clemson as far as philosophy is concerned. The first is we're going to mostly base out of 11 personnel. Obviously, that's one tight end, one running back, and 3 receivers. But we're going to also get into other personnel groups. We're going to get into 20 personnel, right? 2 backs, all right? 3 wide receivers. And then we're also going to get into 12 personnel. We're going to get into 1 running back, 2 tight ends, 2 receivers. We're going to get into 10 personnel. So each year is a little bit different for us based on who our best 11 guys are, but we're always going to base out of that 11 personnel, okay? We always want to be, as much as possible, be balanced run and pass, okay? And I think you just look at our statistics the last several years, we have done a great job of being balanced. All right, we're not going to be that team that throws the ball 75 times a game or runs the ball 75 times a game. We are going to try to be as balanced as possible, and that sometimes is dictated based on who we're playing, what the defensive philosophy is. All right, but fortunately for us, we have been able to have enough talent that we can spread the wealth. We can spread the ball around, and it doesn't have to be just one position that takes the load. And so balanced run and pass is critical to keep the defense on their heels. We're going to be a no-huddle tempo offense. Okay, so we'll have the opportunity, though, to not just play fast, but be able to change the tempo. And I think that's really important because that can do things such as prevent defenses from subbing players and slowing the game down, catching them off guard by playing really fast, and then obviously wearing them down. If you can play fast and you're very efficient, all right, with the plays that you're running and you're scoring points, obviously that's the best thing you can do. And you're going to wear that opponent down, and by the 3rd and 4th quarter, hopefully your team is, and us at Clemson are in better shape and can really pour it on in the second half. And so having that variety of tempos is going to be big for us. Misdirection and RPOs are obviously something that we're going to do here. A lot of people do. But any way that we can stress the defense, any way that we can identify a player or two that we can create conflict. And that's going to be something that we're always looking for when we game plan is, where can we stress this defense? And sometimes it's just splitting the defense in half. And that's part of that misdirection and RPO game. Creating big plays is pretty obvious there. You want to be able to create big plays in the run and the pass. How do you do that? Well, you got to find ways to get the ball to your best players, first off, okay? And then just be creative and be able to get the ball down the field. Get the ball to your backs or to your receivers in the run game, okay? Like I said, being creative and having fun. These players need to see the coaches having fun with a lot of energy because it's contagious. And so when they see that from the coaching staff, it a lot of times bleeds down into the players. And by being creative and having some misdirections and finding ways to create big plays and just being creative and having fun with it is going to be important for us. And like I mentioned a minute ago, just finding ways to get the ball in the playmakers' hands. All right, that's what it's about. Who are the playmakers on our team, and how many different ways can we get them the football is the name of the game, okay? Obviously, our offense has been very, very successful. We've had 78 400-yard games, which is the second most in FBS since 2015. We've had a 24.6 average margin of victory, which is the second most in FBS since 2018. And we have had 35 wins of 21 or more points, which is the second most in FBS since 2018. A couple other things to note is since 2018, we're one of only 2 programs in the country to both rush for at least 1,100 yards and pass for at least 15,000 yards. I said 1,100. 11,000 yards and 15,000 yards passing, which shows right there is how balanced we've been in the past several years. And then the last one here, just as far as statistics, is over the last 4 years, Clemson is the only program in the country to both rush for at least 150 touchdowns and pass for at least 120 touchdowns. So that allows us to be successful, number one, all right, but also it allows us to go recruit players, all right, that want to play for an offense that is that explosive and then that is that successful and productive. All right.